Hello everyone. So for those of you who follow me on Instagram, sometimes around November, I began a series of reviews on Love is Blind, and one of those reviews, the one featuring Zainab, someone had talked about the vacillator love style that Zainab happened to be a vacillator. So and she was like, I should talk about it. So after more delays, I finally decided to talk about the vacillator love style, and that would definitely lead me on to talk about the other love styles that exist. Because at the end of the day, these love styles end up summing up who we are and how they affect our relationship. And the moment your relationships or your marriages are affected, it begins to tell on your mental health or your emotional health, as the case may be. So the video you're going to watch right now is about the vacillator love style, where vacillator is how they idealize their relationships versus the reality of relationships. So please watch, share with your friends, and if you have questions, feel free to reach out. And if there's anything you'd want me to talk about, please drop in the comment section, and I definitely will talk about it. Subscribe as you watch as well, and don't forget to share with someone. See. A vacillator is someone who is indecisive or irresolute. A vacillator is also an excitator. Now, what is a vacillator love style? I mean, what exactly does it talk about and what do they display? Now, a vacillator love style displays a man or a woman who really wants connection. However, they're idealizing relationships, hoping and longing for attention and love. They keep idealizing the relationship and don't know how to get unstuck in relationships. Initially, it's about the chase for them, but after a while, they begin to lose interest in relationships and they don't know how to talk about it. Now, a person displaying a versatile love style says things like, I don't feel heard, I don't feel important to you, you don't get me, I am done. And as their spouse or partner, you simply feel stuck and frustrated and you don't know what to do. Moreover, many times in your relationship, you keep repeating from time to time things like you feel done or and you're tired of saying it. Okay? So it becomes a big deal for you. Now, what is dating like for a facilitator or someone who kind of practice the facilitator love style? Now, dating is intense for them, and as time goes on, by excitement, but as time goes on, rather, the excitement and the intensity that they feel, reality begins to set in, and they begin to feel disappointed, rejected, and frustrated in certain situations. So they tell themselves a story about their partner and their relationships. Now, as a result, they have expectations not being met in their marriage or relationships, which leads to feeling hurt and resulting in many facilitators responding in anger. Now, let's look at the background and the growing up years of a facilitator. Now, a facilitator love style develops out of an unpredictable home life and childhood. The parent is either unattentive or absent, or facilitates himself with his emotional outreach to the child. This creates a feeling of abandonment, anger, and often resentment towards the parent. Now, the child feels that his or her needs are not being met, and when the parent does try to reach out, the child is often distraught or angry to receive what affection the parent is offering. Now, they look to outside sources such as TVs, movies, books, and magazines for the type of love and affection they aren't receiving at home. And of course, as you'd expect, this results in forming unhealthy, unrealistic ideals for relationships because of this idealization process. Now, as adults, they are looking for the consistent love and attention they didn't receive growing up, all right, making them vulnerable to feelings of abandonment or rejection when their partner isn't giving them his or her undivided attention. So, but what exactly is this particular love style in detail? Because we've defined it, all right. So let's look at it in detail now. The versatile individual displays many of the following characteristics. So we'll look at it one after the other. One who approaches each relationship with an ideal in mind instead of looking at things realistically. Now, the ideal is shaped by things they've seen, books they've read, things they've watched in movies and TV. Then, when the real world relationship doesn't match up, all right, to their unreal expectations, they become disillusioned and disheartened. Now, what's the second thing that they actually do? Now, they look to others for love, comfort, understanding, and companionship that they can't find within themselves. Then, number three, they often assume people know what they want or how they're feeling, even when they don't express themselves. Number 4, versatile love style individuals often find no middle ground with others. Now, relationships for them are either good or bad. They facilitate or swing back and forth in their commitment within the relationship. Now, the truth is, you can actually develop more than one love style, and most of us display some traits of all 5 love styles. I think I'll talk about the love styles in another video. Now, your dominant love style is the one which you tend to dominate, or which tends to dominate your life and your relationships. Now, versatiles are made to crave communication. I thought it was important that I put that out here. But they want you to know what they want without telling you. Isn't that funny? Now, in their own thought process, they believe and tell themselves that the spouse or partner should already know or read their mind. They expect you to know without them really talking about it. All right. Now, versatiles are very affectionate, but they have a hard time talking about problems. Dating for them is a fantasy, and the initial attraction is intense. In fact, they fantasize about the love of their lives. Now, trouble starts when they get married. Now, versatiles wait for their needs to be met by their partner without properly communicating their expectations. Therefore, there is idealism, like I said earlier, which results in feeling disappointed with their reality. They protest when their idealism is not met. Their mood shifts because they are so sensitive. There's a lot of rumination after an event, so they are rehearsing and reviewing it in their own minds without knowing how to bring and discuss it with their spouse. Now, there is hope for a vacillator or a versatile love style individual. Now, there's therapy, and through therapy, he or she can learn to develop healthy notions of what good relationships are and can learn to find acceptance and comfort internally as well as externally. Now, the therapy techniques may include certain things, and I'll just list a few, not exhaustive, as this is not a therapy session. 1, acknowledge that your expectations won't ever fit into this imperfect, very real world, and its very imperfect inhabitants, because we are all imperfect. Number 2, it helps you understand that each day can't be as good as you hope, but it won't be as bad as you can imagine it either. Now, number 3, ask for things you need and express your feelings and thoughts instead of waiting for others to guess at them. Come on, go ahead and say what you want. Go ahead and say what your expectations are. All right. Number 4, learn to live in the present. Very, very important. Learn to live in the present instead of always looking to the past for sources of pain or to a future that can never be as rosy as the painting. Now, people say rosy. I'm thinking of a rose that has thorns. A rosebud has thorns. Anyways, roses. Now, I encourage you to seek help today if you think that this topic is reflective of you or is reflective of your relationship. All right, so do not just stop there. So in my next video, I'm going to talk about the different love styles that we have. So stay tuned. Please subscribe and share with your friends. I'll see you soon.